Hey, welcome back, boys and girls, to Captain Clipboard. It's week 5. Have you done your picks yet? I hope you haven't, because the captain's got them all ready for you. Once again, there's 4 teams on a bye this week. The New Orleans Saints, the San Diego Chargers, the Chicago Bears, and the Green Bay Packers. And boy, after what Brett Favre did to them on Monday night, they sure are looking for this little vacation now, aren't they? All right, well, stay tuned, and we'll get into the picks.
All right, welcome back to Captain Clipboard. We're looking at week 5, the NFL season. This is our picks and prediction portion of our show. And we're going to start off right now with the early games. And the first matchup we've got is the 0-4 Cleveland Browns taking on the 1-3 Buffalo Bills. This is going to be kind of an ugly game, I imagine. Cleveland is kind of coming around right now. They went to overtime against the Bengals last week. It came down to a last-second field goal, and they were really dueling it out in overtime. They almost took up the 15 minutes there and almost went to a tie. So Cleveland seems to be turning things around a little bit. Derek Anderson has taken over at quarterback. Brady Quinn, he's turning out to be a flop. I think he's going to be just like Jamarcus Russell with the Raiders, but I'll get into that when we get to that pick. Anyway, Buffalo, they're still struggling to try to find a way to get Terrell Owens into the offense, and he's going to start complaining real soon here. I know it. He went a whole week without a single catch. Last week he only had 3. So in order for Buffalo to win, they need to find ways to get that ball to him, and their offensive line needs to do some blocking. But beyond that, this is going to be an ugly game. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. That'll be my pick there. Next up is the 2-2 Pittsburgh Steelers going into the Motor City Detroit, who is 1-3. Pittsburgh came off a big win over San Diego on Sunday night. Rashard Mendenhall came in the second year back and had a huge game, 165 yards, couple of touchdowns, filling in for the injured Willie Parker. He's going to probably do the same again. He's going to fill in for Parker with that turf toe injury. Detroit also suffered a big injury to their starting quarterback, Matt Stafford, dislocated his knee. He's probably going to be out for about 3 to 6 weeks, I would imagine, with that type of injury. We'll find out a little more as we get closer to Sunday. Dante Culpepper is probably going to take over. Won't make any difference. The Steelers are going to win this game. I'm taking Pittsburgh. Next up is the Dallas Cowboys going in against the 0-4 Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a team that's rebuilding. Haley's trying to turn this team around. They've got Matt Castle there at quarterback, but they're just not consistent enough, especially on the defensive side. They can't really stop anybody, and they're only averaging about 18 points a game. Dallas can really run the ball. They had a chance to beat Denver, last week up in Mile High. I picked Denver. That was one a lot of people were going, Denver's going to lose this week. They're going to get off their little lucky streak. Well, no, the luck's still continuing, and Denver is 4-0. So this week, though, Dallas on the road, I'm going to take Dallas over the Chiefs. Finally, we have Minnesota, 4-0, undefeated. Brett Favre has got this team rolling. Adrian Peterson, best running back in the NFL, and they're taking on the winless St. Louis Lambs. They're going to get lambasted. Favre and them are going to just smash them. They're not going to give them any chance of winning this ball game. Rams just don't have enough on offense. Kyle Bowler got slapped around like a redheaded stepchild last week against the 49ers. Expect the same coming against this tough Minnesota team and their tough defense. So that's part of the morning games. We'll be back after a couple messages, and we'll finish up the rest of the morning games.
All right, gang, welcome back to Captain Clipboard. Right now, I've got to tell you, I'm going to give you my little recap of week 4. It was a good one. Oh, except for this one. Well, maybe 2. I lost. Only 2 games, though. 12-2 on the week. That was not bad, considering there were 4 teams on a bye. Once again here, in week 5, we've got 4 teams taking their little vacation again. It's the Saints, the Bears, San Diego Chargers, and the Green Bay Packers. And I bet they're glad they're going on a bye after what Brett Favre did to them on Monday night. Anyway, 12-2 on the week. We did pretty good. We only lost a couple of ones, and they were close ones. I was hoping that the Titans would pull it out, but they didn't. Jacksonville seemed to be too much and really sunk their claws into those sorry, pathetic Titans. What kind of Titans are those? Anyway, they lost, and the Ravens, they lost a close one up there in New England. They had a chance to win it in the last few seconds, but somebody couldn't hold on to the ball. And they have two good hands. Go figure. Anyway, 12-2 on the week, and 46-16 on the season. So we're moving up. And the captain's only going to get better. Trust me. Alrighty.
All right, welcome back. Captain Clipboard here. We're going to finish up the morning games and the picks we have. The next game up is we have the Raiders going into New York Giants, and this is going to be ugly. They got slapped around last week against a so-so Houston Texans team. They held tough for a while, but that problem is, like I'd mentioned about Brady Quinn, it's that other 2007 first-round draft pick quarterback, Jamarcus Russell. I know everybody out there in Raiderland is really hoping. I was hoping that he was going to turn it around, but if you can't hit a parked car with a football, I don't think you're going to be able to hit a moving target in a wide receiver or anybody else. So this is going to be a slow death for the Raiders here until they get the hook. And, that's going to be it for the Raiders this season. Until they get rid of Jamarcus Russell, just continue to see L's on the board. The Giants, on the other hand, Manning had a good game last week against the Chiefs, although he did hurt his foot. He's got a little bit of a plantar fasciitis, which is a kind of little injury to the soft tissue in the arch. It could be a little bit of a problem, but I imagine they'll be up by 21 points by halftime, and he'll be sitting comfortably on the bench by that point. My pick this week will be the G-Men, the New York Giants, over the Raiders. Pretty easy pick. Anyway, Tampa Bay, another loser, rolling into Philadelphia. They're 0-4, and for good reason. They can't move the ball, and they can't score. Those are two big things you need to be able to do if you want to win. Philly, on the other hand, has a fantastic defense, solid offense. They get Brian Westbrook back this week after the bye week, and as well as the injury that he had to his ankle. He seems to be close to 100%. The backup, McCoy, looked really good in his place. It won't really matter because the Buccaneers are going to get scalped. We'll take Philly in this one. Next up, we have the Washington Redskins rolling in to the winless Carolina Panthers. Carolina is winless, but they've lost a couple of close games, and they've also gotten scalped in a couple of games. But, actually, they've only played 3 games, so let's make that they were only close in 1 game. Anyway, I think I'm going to go out on a limb this week, and I think that they will win this game at home. The Redskins, they have a pretty high-powered offense, but like I said last week, they're kind of allergic to the end zone, and for some reason they just can't seem to put it in the end zone. They like to kick field goals. Carolina's got a good running game. Redskins have a pretty solid defense, but Carolina's at home. Somebody's got to win. I'm taking the Panthers. Finally, our last game of the morning pits 2 division rival teams up against each other. Cincinnati Bengals roll into Baltimore. These 2 teams are both 3-1. The surprising Bengals, they won last week on the road in Cleveland in overtime with a last-second field goal. They've been playing solid football, and, according to Captain Clipboard here, they are 3-3 against the Ravens over the last 3 seasons. So they've just been splitting, and it hasn't just been wins at home. They've gone into Baltimore and won games there as well. So these 2 teams, I imagine this is going to be a shootout. I think that we'll see some defensive fireworks. Might even come down to a special teams touchdown to win this one. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens at home. I think Joe Flacco and the Ravens they'll do what it takes to pull this one out, and they'll go to 4-1. So that's it for the morning games. Stay tuned. We'll have our late picks coming up.